about closed questions in the present simple tense. So a closed question has a yes answer or a no answer. Okay? If I say to you, do you like chocolate? The answer is yes or no. Okay? In English, to make questions, we use the verb do. So you must know the verb to do. Okay, you can see here, we say I do, you do, we do, they do. But for he, she, and it, we say does. So he does, she does, it does. If you want, you can stop the video just to copy that. Okay, so to make questions in English, to make closed questions, we begin with do or does, then the subject, okay, so I, you, he, she, etc. Then the verb or the action, run, drink, speak, sleep, eat, etc. And then sometimes we have an object and then some extra information sometimes. Okay, so here you can see the first word is do or does. We know, how do we know to use do or does? We look at the subject. So if the subject is I, for I we say do. Okay? But for example, if the subject is she, for she we choose does. Okay? So we have the subject, we have do, then the subject, then the action, the verb, and then for this question the object is English. Now it's very important when you write sentences with he, she, it, for sentences you will have an S on the verb, or sometimes ES or IES. Okay? But for questions, nothing. Okay? So the verb in questions, no S, no ES, nothing. Okay? Okay, so let's have a look at some examples. We have a sentence here. They buy food on the weekend. To change this sentence into a question, so first we need to choose do or does. Now, the subject is they. So for they, we use do. Okay, so do they, then the action, the verb, do they buy food on the weekend? She studies medicine at university. Okay, so the subject is she. For she, we use does. Okay, so does she then study? You can see here that in the sentence we say she studies, IES, but for a question, no IES. Does she study medicine at university? And then number 3, it barks all night. So for it is the subject, so we use does for it. Does it bark all night? Now we have some more sentences. So what you should do now is stop the video and write questions for these sentences. So change the sentences to questions. So you can stop the video and do that now. Okay, so I hope that you wrote answers, that you wrote questions. So let's have a look at the correct questions. So we eat fried rice on Sundays. The answer, do we eat fried rice on Sundays? He likes swimming at the local pool. The answer is, does he like swimming at the local pool? It takes 5 hours to drive home. So the question, does it take 5 hours to drive home? Now, in the questions we finished, the subjects we used were like he, she, we, they, etc. Sometimes the subject is not he or she or you or I, etc. Okay? Now, so let's say the subject is the woman. So for the woman, is it do or does? Now, the woman, okay, if we wanted to use a pronoun, okay, like he or she, for a woman, we would say she. So, if the woman is a she, then for she, we use does. Okay? Now, what about the dog? Is the dog a man or woman? No. The dog is an animal, and usually for animals, we use it, okay? So, for it, do or does? Does. Okay, this one, the dogs. So not one dog, but many dogs. So we use it for one, but for many, we use they. Okay, so for they, do or does. For they, we use do. The children. Now, the children, that's many children. So we use they, and for they, we use do. Mary, is that a man's name or a woman's name? Mary is a woman's name, so she. So do or does? Does. Thomas is a man's name, so he. So we use does. Now, John and I. What do we say here? John and I is not they, but we. Okay? So, for we use do. So, I want you to look at these sentences, okay, and write the correct questions. So, for example, the boy plays soccer on the weekend. So, for the boy, do you choose do or does? Okay, so you need to think the boy, is that he or she? Okay, so the boy is he. So for he, you will say does, and also finish questions 2 and 3. So stop the video and do that. Okay, so here are the answers. Okay, the boy plays soccer on the weekend. Now the boy is like he, so we say does. Does the boy play soccer on the weekend? Again, make sure that on this verb here there is no s. Okay. Helen goes to the mall every afternoon. Okay. So the answer, so Helen is a woman's name. Okay. So like she, for she we say does. So does Helen go to the mall every afternoon? Again, you see here the verb go. For questions, we don't say goes. For questions, we just say go. And number 3, Mary and John talk on the phone. So Mary and John, that's 2 people, okay, 2 people. So we say they. So for they, we use do. Do Mary and John talk on the phone? Okay, so we talked about questions. What about answers? Just short answers. So here we have, do I speak English? So let's say I say to you, do I speak English? And then you can say, yes, you do, or no, you don't. If I say to you, do you speak English? Okay, then you can say, yes, I do, or no, I don't. Does he speak English? Yes, he does, or no, he doesn't. Does she speak English? Yes, she does, or no, she doesn't. Does it speak English? Yes, it does, or no, it doesn't. Do we speak English? Yes, we do, or no, we don't. Do they speak English? Yes, they do, or no, they don't. So, now here, this time the subject is not he, she, we, they, okay, but we have some different subjects. So, let's do this together. Number 1, does Tom wake up at 7 a.m? So, for a positive answer, a yes answer, we will say yes. Now, Tom is a man. It's a man's name. So we'll say yes, he. And does. Or negative, no, he doesn't. Do the children eat ice cream? So the children, okay, so that is many, okay, many children. So yes, they do, okay, or no, they don't. Do Ahmed and Shelley work? Now, how many people here? Not one person, but 2 people. Okay, so many people. So we say yes, they. Okay, they for because many people. Yes, they do. Or no, they don't. Do cats eat mice? So a cat is an animal. Now, for one animal, we say it, but for many, okay, it's cats, so many cats, we say they. So yes, they do, or no, they don't. Does the cat eat mice? So one cat, okay? So for one cat, do we say it or they? One cat, it. So yes, it does, or no, it doesn't. Do you and I study English? Okay, now you and I, is that they or we? Okay, if it's you but also me, then we say we. So yes, we do. Okay, if it was you and your friend, then they, because you and your friend is not me also. Okay, but if it's you and it is also me, then we. Okay, so yes, we do, or no, we don't. And do you study English? So if I say to you, do you study English? What do you say? You say, yes, I do, or no, I don't. Okay, I hope that helps. Thank you very much.